Hey there, Ramble Force. Kris Gamble here from Digital Ramble for episode 48. Joined in a secret location by JJ Cannon. Hey, JJ.
What's happening, Gamble? Man, it is fantastic to get back on with you, my friend. Goodness, have we been busy?
Where are you?
Well, today I'm actually in Fort Worth. We have the CE Pro Tech Summit, where 100 of the greatest minds in home technology emerge into one location and kind of swap ideas and how to be better for our industry.
I didn't get the invite. I must be in the top 200.
I think you were like 101, somewhere in there. I'll work on it for you, man. Bro, where are you at? You look like you're in a secret location yourself.
I'm in the theatre district of London, so I'm right in the centre of London where all the big stage theatres are and the nice restaurants and shopping districts. So I'm in the Covent Garden area of London.
Ooh, sounds fancy, schmancy. Hey, you know what? Today, Season 7, Episode 48, Tech Woes Without a Tech Pro. Super excited to talk about today's topic.
Yeah, a little bit of a throwback because it's something we talk about a lot, but the reason we talk about it a lot is because it's what we bang our heads against brick walls with on a daily basis in our businesses when we're called in to rescue situations or untangle DIY attempts and things like that. So minimize the woes, use the Home Tech Pro.
Yeah, I love that. You know, I'm JJ Cannon, CEO of Digital Delight. I'm out of Houston, Texas. You can find out more about me at digitaldelight.com. I've been in the game for over 20 years and absolutely love creating positive experiences by using technologies for homeowners in our surrounding area.
And I'm Kris Gamble, your co-host of the Digital Ramble, but also owner and founder of Customized, a UK-based smart home installation business covering the south of England and all sorts of exotic locations around Europe. This year, this year we branched out. We've hit mainland Europe as well this year.
That's cool, man. And I want to encourage everybody to keep an eye on Gamble's Instagram. He's getting ready to go abroad next week and really post up some incredible places that he's been delivering some really cool solutions for. So that the chalet, I can't wait to see a little bit more about that. You know, last week we had a great episode. Actually, not last week. Last week you were a little bit ill and under the weather, and so we kind of postponed it, until this week. But the previous week we talked about long-distance smart home relationships, and man, that one just like took off. Had a great response.
Yeah, so definitely tune into that if you want to learn more about how controlling your home when you're away is one of the best features of a smart home.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really when smart home starts to shine, when you're not at the house, man. And the management, the control, is where it's at.
Let's get into episode 48. That's where sometimes smart home doesn't shine unless you bring in the Home Tech Pro. So let's go.
Let's do it. Again, we need to do our website. All right, and welcome. And I want to say thank you to all our Patreons at patreon.com/Digital Ramble. Thank you for contributing to us on a monthly basis. If you'd like to help us keep this show on the road, please head over to patreon.com/Digital Ramble. Drop us $1 on a monthly basis. It greatly helps us do what we do. Also, our website at digitalrambleshow.com. Fantastic place where you can check out all of our past episodes either on YouTube or on Facebook, and our podcast 11. We are on 11 platforms that you can find all of our not old, I mean it's all current, but really good juicy information about smart home technology, commercial smart home. Got a lot of good information, and we always want to encourage you to like us, share us, engage with us on our episodes, and we're going to hit you back. So thank you very much. Gamble, let's get into this.
Okay, so we're just going to hit some real home runs here. Some of the most common scenarios where JJ and I are faced with not quite disasters, but things that could turn up in a disaster. or situations that could be easily avoided. And the first one for us, although we're big fans of the products, it's a lot of the equipment that you can buy in that big box store. It's your GAFA products, but also your less well-known brands that are just stacked high, either in the online stores or the big box stores that claim to control your heating, control your lights, boost your Wi-Fi, all these kind of catchphrases to attract you to to some of the pain points that you've got at home. But choose these wrong, and things can go badly real quick.
I mean, Gamble, I'm like everybody else out there. I've walked into these big box stores, on a weekend. I need a quick fix for something. And I'll walk into an aisle and it's just rows of the same product, and I don't know necessarily what to choose from. And it's bewildering. And even, you try to get over a sales representative to try to direct you into what's right. And to be honest with you, not having eyes on the scene to be able to truly provide me or provide the homeowner with what they really need for that environment, can be difficult and could ultimately lead you to the wrong purchase.
Yeah, my classic scenario that I find is, they've maybe purchased a smart doorbell. Let's say they bought Ring when it first came out. It was the first to market with the awesome idea of taking calls from your front door. Then they've thought, well, I like the idea of security, and they've gone and bought a camera from, eBay or Amazon or some online store, and they think that's great because they can view it on a phone or a tablet and on a smartphone, okay, and they can view that anywhere. Then they go and buy a smart door lock or a smart plug for lights or something like that, the third or fourth purchase. And I think this is where it starts to go wrong. The third or fourth purchase really fractures things because it puts them in the realms of 3 or 4 apps. Now, if they'd chosen wisely and consulted with a professional or looked at the brand they'd already bought and looked at whether things could work together, then they could be on a budget without spending a lot of money, living a single app life. And I think they get frustrated when they're hopping between 3 or 4 apps and one device needs an update and then one device stops working with the other one. And this fractured scenario is the ultimate smart home friction pain point, I think.
Have you ever walked into a homeowner's home, Gamble, and there's like a box of products that they've tried, that they've invested money in, and it's like, oh, this doesn't work. And honestly, all of them kind of work. I mean, you're talking about the interconnectivity of the devices and getting them to communicate with one another. But sometimes it could be placement, and putting that product in the right location. I'm kind of pointing at like access points or mesh Wi-Fi options, and it can be placed incorrectly. I've even seen it to where too much is too much. Like, oh, instead of 5, I'll put 6 in there just to make sure I cover my space. And really, you're stomping out that signal and causing confusion for all the other wireless devices to have too many options to choose from. And they're always bouncing between the different mesh points and never getting a reliable signal.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why we as a business really tune into what's the status of the network before we start adding new technology into the home. We're looking at building that secure and robust Wi-Fi network that's giving coverage inside and outside the home, pretty much the outside walls, the front door locations, maybe to the garage if we can. But without that, I would be making as much a mistake as the homeowner is making without, addressing the Wi-Fi issues first. So that's crucial. And that's a good sign, I think, as well. If you started to engage with a pro, instead of them reeling out all these new products that they want to sell to you and install for you, you want to be hearing one of them saying, let's look at the network. Let's address that first. Let's get your existing purchases working happily and then start adding new products.
Yeah, gambler. That's like we've said it over and over, the past 48 episodes. Wi-Fi, well, the network is the foundation for everything that we do is based on. And so that's one of the woes that somebody could have without necessarily consulting with a smart home technology professional. Another one, I had a client gamble and building this beautiful space in the backyard, and they were like, you know what, we just used our electrician. He said he could pull the wire for us and go to dig a little bit deeper. Things were kind of placed in the appropriate area. We popped the blank plates off of the ceiling locations where these in-ceiling speakers were going to go. And under further inspection, the electrician ran the wrong type of wire. He ran category 5 wire, network wire, and network wire can be manipulated to do a variety of different things, but it is not speaker wire, and he ran it for everything. So he ran it for speaker wire, and of course he ran it to the television, which is appropriate. But running it for speaker wire, friends out there, do not use Cat 5, Cat 6, Cat 7, no Cat for no speaker wire whatsoever. It's just too small. It can't carry the signal necessary to run audio off of for speakers. And so the gauge was wired way too small, and it was a tongue and groove ceiling. I mean, you'd have to take out the entire ceiling, and it was an exterior wall that was brick. Talk about pain. And that was one of those, I'll save money, and when I'm ready, I'll consult with the technology professional when I'm ready. And honestly, from the design stage, when you're building, you really need to be seeking out a technology professional if you don't have one already. And if you do, get them in there on the ground level and let him, design the system for you, as well as run the wires to get what you need in the right place and the right type of wire necessary. You have any stories like that, Gamble?
Yeah, the complete opposite, JJ. The complete opposite. And it was this week. We had a project that we're working on. We're doing all the wiring, and we asked the questions. Do you want audio? No, I don't need audio. I'm just going to have like a table-mounted speaker or a sound bar. And we're like, yeah, that's cool. We can sort that out. So no requirement for speaker cable. Went and did a quick recce before we start further work, actually on Wednesday, and saw this really thick cable. Looked expensive cable. I was like, dug my hand around, pulled out the end of it, and I was like, whoa, this is speaker cable, but like serious hi-fi shop, probably like X amount of pounds per meter, silver, probably got a fancy name speaker cable. And I was like, what's this for? Oh, I'm going to put some speakers up either side of the kitchen cabinets, just these little Bose, little satellite speakers. I was like, this speaker cable is for a big floor standing kind of bi-wired kind of speaker, not the Bose speakers, which have like little pinholes to insert the speaker cable into. So I tried to explain it to him. He's like, oh, the shop said it would be fine. I said, is that the shop that's selling you the hi-fi? No, I just told them I was buying some speakers. So you didn't tell them the speakers. They sold you the most expensive cable they could.
Of course.
So you could. And now you're stuck with these heavy gauge speaker wires that they just won't fit the cable. He's going to have to trim them back or something. I don't know, but I ain't getting involved. I know he'll get me to fix it or do something, but I might have to see if I can pull new wires in on Wednesday.
Tech woes, man. Tech woes. And that's unfortunate because that investment that he made in that heavy gauge wire that's just not necessary could have been better applied in other areas. I mean, maybe he could have upgraded his speaker quality or added a subwoofer to get lower frequency, or maybe just kept it in the bank, man, or maybe he could have got some little stands so that the wire didn't sit on the ground. You've seen those, Gamble, to keep them propped up, to keep the static electricity from the earth. I don't know.
There's gold-plated Ethernet cables as well.
Yeah, you need those. You need some gold-plated Ethernet cables. It's just a crisper sound. I can feel it. Not hear it, feel it. Another woe gamble is like maximizing connectivity of the devices. One of the biggest ones I kid you not, gamble. A couple of weeks ago, I had a client call me out because they could not get their notifications on their video doorbell working correctly. And I go over there and I start, they had a challenge with the doorbell chimes. And there's a couple of different video options that we used. And go back and listen to our past episodes, and you'll know which ones I'm talking about. But there's some that you can wire into a doorbell, chime on the wall. Some that are wireless. Some you can do both with. And then also you can get it to chime on your wireless device. And they just couldn't get it all put together. I'm walking through the house and I get it all set up, and bro, the dude's a NASA astronaut, It's like, it made me feel so good, that I was able to provide a service to an astronaut, to a NASA astronaut, and even, the most well-rounded and minded people have some challenges with these devices, and it was maximizing the connectivity, its performance, its recording abilities by setting the motion and the distance, and it's the know-how. There's no way that I can guide a shuttle onto a refueling station myself. I'm not trained for that. Just in the same sense, he's not trained to set up, a video doorbell or a Wi-Fi access point or his streaming network system. I'd much rather him enjoy his weekends with his family, because I'm sure during the week he is, not at the house or maybe not on the planet. And so when he is home, he wants to enjoy that stuff and not be bothered by it.
Well, because we are installing the equipment every day, we're diving deep into the menus and the options and the settings and remembering what works, because maybe you learned something from a previous installation that seems to help video quality, that seems to help notifications or things like that. So because you're working with it every day, it's just second nature, and that's where the Home Tech Pro is vital to your home today, as vital as every other tradesperson that's coming in to look after water, electric, the roof, general building work. The amount of technology and the investment that the family has made and the homeowners have made in the tens of thousands of dollars and pounds now in technology, it is ludicrous that you would not seek out a pro to get the best out of it. It's like buying a sports car and never putting fresh oil in it or changing filters or even cleaning it. You wouldn't do it. So why are you doing it with tens of thousands of pounds worth of technology?
Whoa. Whoa. I mean, a home technology professional gives time back. We take something that can take hours, probably days, maybe it's never even done correctly, and we give that time back to you with the assurance that is done correctly and maximized.
Yeah, that's a recurring feedback that we get from clients is, oh, that saved me so much time. Oh, I would have taken ages if I'd tried to do this myself. Or I would have never have got this working if I did it myself. And it sounds, this isn't a sales pitch, phone my business, phone JJ's business. This is genuine.
This is global.
This stuff takes time. And if you don't have it, or you want to spend that time doing other things that you find way more enjoyable, then hire the pro. The same way that people are hiring dog walkers, personal trainers, dietitians, tutors for their kids, and paying for people to book their holidays nowadays. You can get a service provider for all sorts of stuff, and the Home Tech Pro isn't as extravagant as it may sound. It's on par with other tradespeople entering your home to get things running smoothly and working the way that you want.
Gamble, the other thing that the other thing that home technology professionals have in their side pocket is access to the information or to the people that can really get to the bottom of a challenge. If there happens to be a problem with a device, or creating a solution that might be extravagant and customized to that person's needs, and having access with representatives of manufacturers is priceless.
We understand how to quickly get support, how to relay the information to the support desk from, it might be Nest or Sonos or Lutron or whatever the product is that we deal with daily. We know how to translate that to that person trying to support us. We can give them that, they deal with it quickly, and we're getting you back up and running as quick as possible. And we're dealing with it there and then. It's not getting put on the back burner like you would at home. Oh, I'll do that tomorrow. Or maybe at the weekend I'll get round to phoning Samsung or Sony or LG or whoever. I just know it doesn't get done. I just know, because I've been doing this 12 years. JD's been doing it twice as long. We know that if you hire the pro, then the woes start to disappear.
Yeah, absolutely. As well as the reliability goes up for those devices, being connected to the network or operating on a regular basis, so that you can enjoy that investment of whatever solution that you're providing, whether it's surveillance for cameras or alarm systems for security, or television, video, audio for entertainment, or access control for your property, for your gates. There's a variety. Lighting control is a big one.
Yeah, I got my wife received it through the mail this week from our department store that we shop at a lot here in the UK, and just looking through all their Christmas kind of offers, fashion, toys, and then a huge section on technology, and not just laptops and iPads and phones. They had mesh Wi-Fi systems, they had smart doorbells, they had smoke detectors, thermostats, loads of smart home products, priced at the price of the product, no installation, they weren't saying that it's easy to install or anything. It was just a nice glossy image of the doorbell or the thermostat or the Wi-Fi system. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if there was a little slogan, if you don't know, find a home tech pro. I'd love to see something like that appear, like a advisory note, because they're selling these boxes and they're certainly not supporting the client or the purchaser. They're relying on it going smoothly, or the homeowner having to either find a pro themselves or having to phone for that support from Nest or Sonos or Google, for example. So I'd love to see that slogan appear in these glossy magazines that look for the pro.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a whole industry of technology professionals out there, whether it's for your residential or your commercial, locations. And it's a matter of just getting online, Google searching home technology professional or smart home installer. There's also an organization that we're familiar with and a part of, cedia.org or cedia.net, and you can go in there and they have a list of technology professionals that are trained, that can help you with a variety of different needs, and really custom design some very sophisticated solutions for your home if needed.
I would also suggest that if you are looking for a professional, get on the social media platforms, start searching hashtag smart home, hashtag home tech, some of the common phrases, maybe the brand name that you're interested in having in your home, and you'll find the professionals that are installing this on a daily basis. Ask them questions. We get them a lot on the direct message on Instagram. What's the right product? What's the right cable? What's the right time to run wires? And all these common questions. And we're happy to answer them. So please use social media as a tool to find your next home tech pro, for sure. But see, that Christmas catalogue that came through the door, JJ, it really struck home that smart home tech is going to be featuring under a lot of trees this year, and we definitely need to be doing a Christmas wish list of tech.
I was looking back at some of our previous episodes, and I think it was episode 3 or 4, and is 2019 the year of the smart home? I think we can say it has been.
It's definitely been greater than any other year, but I could equally argue that 2020 is going to be the year of the smart home, because every year we get that increase as we are in this hockey stick shape of adoption of devices in our home. So every year it's the year of smart home, and every year there's more professionals available to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. Gamble, dude, that was great. Smart home. What is it? Tech woes without a tech pro. I love it, man.
No,
I think
it's a
that's a good
minefield. Now, going back onto our normal routine, we had Ramble last time. I let off a bit of steam. This time we're going to have some cannon fire. Have you got something for us this week, JJ?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you firing off there. A little trigger happy. Yeah!
Knock my phone over.
All right. Call your home tech pro first. Man, I can't tell you. I'll get over to a client's house and they're all frustrated and, sweating and boiling because, they've had some kind of problem or situation with something that's been installed. And so they'll call their internet service provider, and that fella or gala come over there and they'll see the stack of beautifully wired tech and not have an idea, and they'll start scratching their head and, well, if I undo this and put it here and, that didn't work, and put this here and plug it there, and before you know it, it's either a spaghetti of wires or everything is plugged back in the wrong position. And it was a simple call to a professional that could have, really realigned the stars with a simple power cycle, unplug the power. And that's one tip that I want to give right now. If you got a problem with the device, friends, just unplug the power, plug it back in, give it about 5 to 7 minutes, and see if that fixes it. Majority of the time, Gamble, what do you think?
It sounds like a cliche, but yeah, it's always my first suggestion.
Yeah, first thing, make sure, very, very first thing is make sure it has power. When I was in university, that was like rule number 1. Whatever device you're working with, make sure it's plugged in. And if it's plugged in and it's been working for a while and it stops working, just unplug it, plug it back in. But if you do that and you still have a challenge, call your home technology professional. If you don't have one, find one. Majority of the time, it's something very simple, especially if that product's been working. The internet service provider, as much as we need internet service, those individuals over there are not trained like a home technology professional. They're trained to get the service working. It's not nowhere close to custom. It's throw wires together. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's a wire mess, but hey, you got internet. Or drill a hole through the wall and run it across the floor, screw it into that cable box, and hey, you got video. It doesn't look pretty, but hey, you got video. That's what they told me I needed to make sure is you had video. And also the whole brother-in-law thing or the son thing, and calling them to come by and try to help you. Same scenario. They really want to help, but they don't necessarily all know how to help. Just because he can connect some speakers doesn't mean that he can take a deep dive into maybe your closed camera television system, your security camera system with assigning IP addresses, if it's a networkable IP system, and with setting statics and needing to set up some type of static schematic inside of your router that you might have, and accidentally changing the master password and not writing it down and him forgetting it. Have you ever had that, Gamble?
I don't know, but I just thought you went into a Beastie Boys song or something that was like systematic. I started thinking that was from a Beastie Boys. I thought you were hiding the lyric in the episode.
I'm dropping a beat. Sorry. But yeah, and changing passwords or reconfiguring something, those are things that are almost invisible to a home technology professional. That when it's done, and you do call them out, and you don't even realize what has been done. Those are things that are kind of invisible and can take a lot more resources, cost to untangle than if you would have just called your home technology professional in the first place. So I want to encourage you in my cannon fire, if you have a challenge, call your home technology professional, and it might be a very simple phone call over very simple solution over the phone that they can help you with, or maybe a quick service call that'll cost you $100 or so, but still it's cheaper than in the long run of creating an invisible knot and then calling your home technology professional and nobody knows where to start, and it could take several hours versus 30 minutes to get it untangled and exposed. So that's my cannon fire. Go, Mike.
Yeah, there is definitely a Beastie Boy lyric in there somewhere. I'll listen back to this episode. If anyone hears it, call into the show. Right, next week we creep ever closer to episode 50. We're going to be on episode 49 next week. We're going to talk about system tune-ups, the maintenance, looking after the system, getting it running smoothly. And that ties in with my trip over to France and tuning up a system out there, getting it fired up, ready for a winter of usage by the family out on the ski slopes.
Yeah, absolutely, Gamble. Next week's going to be another incredible episode for us, and it's something that we do as a service for all of our clients. We'll send them out an email, and hey, get those dust bunnies out of there. Let's update some firmware. Let's maximize, make sure all the stars are aligned, and get it ready for family to come on down.
Perfect. Right. Remember again, guys, digitalrambleshow.com is a website where you get all the videos, the podcasts, all in one place, or look on all the platforms that you're familiar with, the Spotify, the Apple Musics, and the YouTube. So go check out other shows, and we look forward to seeing you at episode 49.
Hey, Gamble, one last thing. I want to give a quick shout out to Ken Irvine over at the Premier Group, who's in Carmel, Indiana. He put together a fantastic weekend for me. He hooked us up with Frank Stearns and Kevin O'Laughlin. Sorry about that, Kevin, if I got that incorrectly. But they're over at Sony, and Sony got us out there to that Formula One race and just created an incredible experience for us. So thank you, guys.
I need one of those Formula One cars.
Oh, man, yeah, to get you from A to B, no doubt, man. You might pass your stop, I guess. Actually, they have pretty good brakes. They're like rockets, I'll tell you what. All right, friends, until next time, if you don't know, find yourself a home tech pro. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Every month, the Digital Ramble will receive a regular source of income from supporters who've pledged through Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, having your ongoing support means we spend less time thinking about business and more time creating quality content for you.
Customized, based in Norfolk, England, are proud sponsors of the Digital Ramble. Check out our all set up services. It's smart home installation with ease. Customize.uk.com.
If you're looking to make your basic home smart, check out digitaldelight.com/shop, where they have a variety of different smart home technology solutions that help make smart home shopping easy for you. Check out digitaldelight.com/shop.